Hey y'all, it is good to be back. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. I'm trying to get this set up and everything right again. It's been so long since I posted. I've had a great time since early December. I went back to the US, spent the holidays with my kids. And if you've been watching the channel, you know that my oldest son came back with me. And I had great plans. We were going to do a lot of traveling. We took 2 cruises while he was here. Big plans for making lots of videos while he and I ran all over Southeast Asia. Well, that didn't really happen. Well, the trips happened, but I didn't make many videos. I found that most of the time I was more interested in just spending time with him and just hanging out. So here we go. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the videos from traveling around. A lot of them are start and stop. I would start filming a day, talk about something, and then never pick the video camera up again. Just get distracted by having fun and spending time with him doing whatever it was we were doing. So as we go, you'll see some video from our trip to Hong Kong Disney, a one-way cruise to Shanghai with a stopover in Okinawa, which I did not see because the first 2 days of that cruise, I was stinking sick. And I slept most of the time. In Shanghai, we got to go to Shanghai Disney, and then we flew back to Bangkok. Spent a few weeks here in Bang Sare, running around, looking at the things to do in Pattaya. And then we took another cruise. We headed out to Singapore and took a round trip cruise, Singapore to Penang to Phuket, and then back to Singapore. Great fun, really enjoyed it. Second cruise, definitely much warmer than the first one. I was shocked at how cold it was in Shanghai, but I guess that's an education for me. Anyway, the drama begins on our way back through immigration. Came back into Don Muang after the second trip, returning from Singapore, and I didn't pay any attention to it. I've never paid any attention to it. You hand your passport over. The immigration officer does their thing, they stamp it, and you're on the way. I think maybe twice any of them have even spoken to me, and it's never really been a question. It's more just like, hello. Most of the time they don't say anything, they just stamp and go. I've never checked my stamps before, so check your stamps. If you come to Thailand on a long-term visa, a retirement visa like mine, mine is a multiple entry. So I want to talk about 2 things. If you come and you choose to get a single entry visa, you must get a re-entry permit before you leave the country on the way out. Easy to get. You go through the little security check, all that kind of stuff, and then there's a booth or a counter where you go and you pay your fee and you get a re-entry permit. That lets you come back into the country on a single entry visa. If you don't get that re-entry permit and you are on a single entry visa and you leave the country, you have effectively canceled your long-term visa. You got to start all over when you get back. Well, if you have a multiple entry long-term visa, I have multiple entry retirement visa. When you come back in, the immigration officer will stamp your passport and then write on the stamp non-O, which is the type of visa, and then they will put the expiration date of the visa at the bottom of that stamp. That lets you stay in the country until your retirement visa expires. Here's where the trouble and the fun begins. If they're not paying attention and they just stamp your visa with the standard 60-day stamp tourist visa, well, they just canceled your long-term retirement visa. As luck would have it, when I came back from Singapore, I didn't check my stamp. I didn't realize that she did it the wrong way. 2 weeks later, it's time for me to renew my retirement visa because I've been here more than a year now, and it's time to get the new one. I hand the passport over to my visa agent. They flip through the pages, and they get big-eyed. Houston, we've got a problem. So they talk about it, they pass it around. Oh, big problem, they canceled your visa, you have to start all over, it's going to be more expensive, they're not going to allow you to renew. Well, I'm off doing the bank thing and making sure that I can prove that I've got enough deposited in my account to do the renewal. Talking with the visa agent on the phone again with Did you even ask immigration about that? Or here's an idea. Maybe we just give it to them, tell them it's a renewal and see if they notice. Maybe they won't pay any attention. Or call them up and say, hey, when he came in the other day, I think one of the officers might have made a mistake. Can we still do a renewal? You know, it's he didn't pay attention to the stamp, but really, what, can you help us out? Is it actually going to be a problem? And I love my visa agent. She's super sweet. She's super outgoing, and she talks to me and she tells me, tries to help me out. She's like, we can't really talk to immigration people like that. We can't go and tell them that they made a mistake and it's their fault. So, well, you got no chance of getting anything if you never ask. So about 30 minutes goes by while I'm still waiting at the bank, and she sends me a message. Oh yeah, they took care of it. Airport officer already fixed it. You're good, you can do a renewal. So first and foremost, if you're on a single entry, make sure you get that re-entry permit before you leave. If you're on a multiple entry, make sure you check your stamp before you walk away from that immigration desk, because you could be in for a lot of headaches. And let's talk about immigration and banks and stuff a little bit more. Thailand is actually a little difficult when it comes to getting a long-term visa. And there's a long-running catch-22, right? To get a retirement visa, you have to have a bank account. To get a bank account, you cannot be here on a visitor visa or a tourist stamp. You've got to have a long-term visa. Well, you can't get one without the other, right? So you've got this endless loop of you can't have that, but you need that. Typical government style, and not just Thai government, it happens everywhere. It happens with any government, it happens with businesses. There's a knee-jerk reaction to a problem, and they'll make a change to a law or a regulation or a policy. Thailand right now is trying to clamp down on these scam call centers, fraud and money laundering in the country. So they have made it very, very difficult for banks and for some visas now. So a bank will no longer open accounts for people on a tourist entry. Now, it used to be that you could go to a visa agent and for a fee, they would get it done for you. Well, many visa agents now have posted on their websites and told all of their clients, we're not opening bank accounts anymore because we can't do it. And there's a big crackdown on banks when the government goes looking for all of these accounts that aren't being used or have unusual activity in them or were opened inappropriately, because they're trying to get rid of these scammers and these fraudsters. Well, they didn't quite think it through and take a look at the downstream impact of what that does to people like me who live here and actually need bank accounts and other things. So if you're planning on coming to Thailand in the near future and you don't have a bank account here, just know you may not be able to get one for a while. Now, many of the agents are saying that this is only going to last a few weeks and the government will realize what they've done and they'll change the regs or make some exceptions or change some policies. I guess that's still to be seen, but for right now, it's very, very hard, if not impossible, to get a bank account if you don't have a long-term visa. Good news for the DTV, you get that outside of the country, and the money that you're required to have on deposit doesn't have to be in a Thai bank account. So if the DTV is an option for you, you probably want to look into that, because getting a retirement visa just got a whole lot harder. We'll see if that sticks. Enough of that for a minute. Let's take a look at some nice scenery from the cruise. Hopefully it warms up a little bit. It's like 12 degrees, 50 Fahrenheit. So we'll see how it goes. Nice sunshine though. What do you think, Bubba?
Exciting.
Exciting. All right, let's go get some. Well, we are 2 hours in. It's noon. The crowd's a little bit bigger. We've got 4 rides in. Had a snack. Great day. You know, not just cruises. I mentioned earlier that we spent a lot of time, a couple weeks, doing things around Pattaya, things that we could do for free, things that we could do for cheap. We went to two of the water parks we've got here, Ramayana and the Aquaverse, which is actually just up the street from me here in Bangkok. One of the other things we did that we really enjoyed was we went to Mongchong Cafe, the elephant cafe, where you can go and feed the elephants. It's like a little zoo. They got a great little cafe, good coffees, good smoothies, and the food is reasonably priced. So here's a look at that. And while we're looking at that, it makes me think, folks, if you are long-term living here in Thailand, once you get your Thai driver's license, a lot of places, this one included, will let you in for the price of a local. So for a tourist to get in here, it's 300 or 400 baht, but you get a free drink at the cafe, a free, cha thai or some, soda. But for locals, it's free. You don't get the free drink, but you don't pay any admission either. So it makes things a lot cheaper. The Pattaya floating market is the same way. You get in free with your driver's license, same as a Thai. So save yourself a few hundred baht when you go to these places, and if they've got the differential pricing, whip out that Thai driving license and see if you can get the local pricing. It really comes in handy. So like I said, it's time to renew the visa. I would show you those stamps I was talking about, but my passport's at immigration getting the new visa issued. So hopefully that'll be back in another, week or two. What have I been doing in the meantime? Well, I don't know if you can hear it. I've got the doors open, but it's raining. So I'm just hanging out inside today. Been getting some nice time at the pool, and I've been doing a little bit of gardening. Many times before in my other videos, I've talked about, what do you do to fill your time here? People ask me that all the time. And a really great answer is just do whatever you love. If there's something you love doing wherever it is you're moving here from, chances are you can do it here too. And I've always enjoyed having a little garden. Now I don't have a yard, and I have a pretty shady area all around my house, but I've got some nice stuff growing. It's just getting started. It will fill in nicely, and maybe I'll do a separate video talking about how I'm making my garden and making these containers and what I'm growing. Let me know down in the comments if you're interested in gardening and might want to see a little bit about that. Life in Thailand is still great. I love it. Visa's coming. I'll be here another year. I don't plan on going anywhere. But hey, just in summary, make sure you get that re-entry permit and make sure you check the stamps before you walk away from that immigration officer, whether it's at a land border at the airport. Make sure that they stamped it the right way, and you need to know what the right way is. So I hope this video helped. I hope you don't run into any problems. Let me know in the comments down below, maybe if you've run into a visa problem or if you've tried to open a bank account and have not been able to. Let's see what that's going on like. I'm back getting in the routine of pumping out videos again. There's another one coming out soon. I appreciate you watching this one. See you in the next one.